Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Heroes of the Storm Technical Alpha. I'm the FourCourtJester, and today we have ourselves a solo queue in the newest patch, the Chen Storm Stout patch here in the Technical Alpha. Big patch, because not only did it bring hero tweaks and balances, it brought a brand new UI for out of game. It brought us tweaks and balances to maps, heroes, and did add in, of course, Chen Storm Stout as well. This game, however, not going to see a Chen, but it is going to be on the Haunted Mines, and the Haunted Mines did get themselves a great big update. It's now a symmetrical map above ground. They've streamlined how the bottom lines work now as well, and today I would like to show you a little bit about the Haunted Mines in this solo queue game, so I say let's get right into it. So normally you would have a picks and bans sequence here, but as we do only have, since it is only a pub game, I'm just going to expedite it.
Ready to roll
quicker,
out!
if you don't mind.
Logical decision.
Stitches want to play.
My hatred is unending.
I bring the mega death.
Ready to roll out!
Logical decision.
Fight time!
I hear the call.
As you can see, this would normally again be a picks and bans, but we didn't have any bans and we only had solo queue picks. Something to note here though, double Sergeant Hammer, double Abathur, double Brightwing. The only differences here is blue, going to be having themselves an Illidan and a Stitches. Red, off to the side, with an ETC and an Azebo. If you think your eyes are deceiving you, they are not. 5 specialists put together in solo queue. It's amazing what the solo queue can do, you guys. But yeah, that's just how that cookie's gonna crumble. So we're gonna be jumping right into the game here, guys, as we do have again Haunted Mines solo queue game. FourCourtJester on the Sergeant Hammer. It's overall fun times, you know. We're gonna jump in and bam. We are ready to roll. Unfortunately, I do not have my co-commentator here today, Mr. Sia Steve, still working on a few things, but we'll enable the sound and the music again. Mr. Sia Steve and I, we are planning to put forth a weekly series with some other guest commentators, and we're looking forward into the tournament scene here of the Heroes of the Storm Technical Alpha, because this is still a Technical Alpha. You gotta give it credit, guys. It's a young game, and at this point, we have no idea where it's gonna go. But, every patch comes with it improvements like the Haunted Mines. As you can see here, a little bit of a different setup. Got the Knights in the mid as still, but it's only one creep camp per side, and the watchtowers are not symmetrical anymore. The maps, in terms of the layouts, are definitely symmetrical, but those watchtowers are a little bit different on the one of the axes there. I don't know if it's the X or the Y. But it is a 2-lane map still, and that means you just gotta decide where to go. And it looks like it's gonna be the party lane bottom. That's gonna leave us Stitches and a Witch Doctor top. You can see the blue Abathur there, the red Abathur there. But going back and forth, it's gonna be the Brawler lane here in the bottom. And, you could actually have a much worse Brawler lane. Now, that ETC getting into the back of things, that's what he's going to be trying to do. He's going to try to get into the back, loudspeaker them forward, into the DPS of Brightwing as well as the Sergeant Hammer. But Brightwing, you gotta really give it to the little fairy dragon. Has a disgusting amount of healing because of that passive. And of course, a little bit of CC coming out with the Critterize as well. So, I don't really think it's going to be a very big kill lane. I mean, we have one assassin in this game, guys. One assassin. Top lane, likely, it'd be very hard, I think, for a Witch Doctor to die to a Stitch. You need, like, a pro-level hook in order to grab something like that. And because he has a disgusting amount of self-heal as well. That Voodoo Ritual, anything he kills gets himself 1% mana, 1% health, has a fountain on the back of that, and an Abathur to help him out as well with that on-demand shield, the Spike Burst, and the Stab. So, we're just going to keep going back and forth. It's still a little bit of a footsies game down here between Brightwing and ETC. they're likely not to die. It's a very formidable combo, especially in a lane where we are light on the DPS. I mean, it's Sergeant Hammers. We're level 3. Sergeant Hammers, not exactly the big DPS factory some people make them out to be. You can see Abathur actually moving down into the top lane, but the mines are up. Don't actually have any kind of replay counters or anything, but ETC actually goes into the bottom, but that's going to be 3 blue following him in, 4 if you count the Abathur on top of that Brightwing, and you know, Battle Cow, as tanky as he is, he's not going to be able to deal with that. He does drop down. There was a Stitches here up against the Sergeant Hammer, and the rest of the blues going to be fanning out into the bottom lane, into the bottom side of the mines. Again, they changed them around. You can see, you know, very small concentrated camps now. The new golem out here as well. So they're trying to really bring back the flavor of do the mines. I mean, it's very, very much a map where you can pretty much safely ignore golems until like late game because there are so many creep camps to do. There's so much other things you can do on the map to apply pressure. So yeah, the new change, overall, I like it. And Blue's actually doing it up quite well. Now, the thing about this golem down here is that he's he's a little different in terms of how he does. You can see the skulls are actually dropping off him as you start killing him. That's very Garden of Terror-esque, like the golems from there. It's the same algorithm, except instead of seeds, they're skulls, obviously. And so that's the majority of the changes down into the bottom lane. And since the blue has basically taken out the entire bottom lane themselves, they're going to have themselves a massive golem. You know, 80 plus, I'd say, at this point, based upon just quick math of all the different skulls out and about. The Witch Doctor's been trying to put the nails to the top lane, as actually going to get off that great wall on top of their Brightwing. That's going to be the Envenom, and that Voodoo is also ticking down. Unfortunately, there's a fountain, so it's going to defeat the purposes there, but Brightwing will live to see another day. Red, however, will take the mid-knights. We do got the golems about to pop there. You can see him coming for us out from the ground, but you know, Illidan, he's going to come in. He's going to look for the kill on top of the Witch Doctor. Doesn't quite land it. Takes a few tower shots for his trouble. And now that Red does have the Knights, they're going to come up here, look for the cutoff, and they aren't going to quite get it. Nice concussive blast there from the Sergeant Hammer, keeping him alive. And again, Brightwing and the stupid amounts of healing that he can do, plus the fountain, plus the shielding from Abathur. It turns into a very beefy kind of early game team because, again, lack of assassins. Nobody really has the big burst combos yet. Level 6 to level 7 going back and forth. That is a big blue golem. Stitches there from blue team in the bottom lane. Just going to have to deal with the little bitty red one. But yeah, it's done. We're not even bringing down blue to half, and the red one is already dead in the ground. Illidan again going to be a big target here. ETC going in with that loudspeaker, trying to, you know, pop him forward into the DPS that just really isn't there quite yet. And again, you got to give big props to the Illidans, to the Brightwings and the Abathurs for doing their best to keep their teams alive. And that's going to be a root going down. Siege Tank not going to be looking so healthy after that one, but a lot of self-healing from, you know, the Fountain. There's also the Brightwing going down. Again, a lot of sources here. This Golem is still going strong. That's going to be a root. Oh, it lands onto the Brightwing, and he is rip right there in Pepperinos. But finally the Golem does go down. Stitches is at free lane, bottom lane. He's actually taken out the entire bottom gate, basically, at this point. There's no ammo down there. ETC dropping to this top lane as well. So 2-0, and now it's not looking so good for that fort. And you can see the Sergeant Hammer starting to show it out. Stitches is pushing this bottom as well. Overall, it's not looking good for Red whatsoever. The only real kind of CC you actually have on these teams as well, I mean, beside the Brightwing and the Critter Eyes, it's just ETC. Yeah, the Gorge maybe from Stitches could definitely do a lot, but you know, there's a big onus here on the tanks to get things done. We are collapsing there on top of the blue Brightwing, but the Abathur shield comes out nice and strong, keeps him alive. He's going to live to see another day. You can see, however, the red ETC looking to cut him off, but it's going to be a Stitches there as well. And ding, level 10. Hero powers activate, and that's not a fight that Red wants to deal. It really shouldn't be a fight that Red wants to do. You can see Stitches with the hook. He lands it on top of that. Brightwing is likely dead at this point. That's going to be Illidan hunting down. Gets the 1, gets the 2. You can see the cloned siege tank in the back there as well. And as I said, it's not a fight that Red wants to deal with. Blue's now going to be very confident about this. They got themselves 2 kills in that engagement. They're taking now the siege giants here from Red's side. And I'm really not too sure there's actually much Red can do about it. You can see a little bit of a siege tank war. Stitches with the hook, not going to land, but the creep camp is done on the back of this one. The cloned tank is going to be dead in the water. You can see the Witch Doctor doing some good damage here, just trying to keep that Illidan out at bay. The other siege tank up there as well. Hook, however, does land on top of Red Siege, and that's actually going to be it for her. She's going to be dead and done. And now this small confined space, not where you want to be fighting. 1, 2, and 3. Got the combo. 3 for 0 exchange. Really nice there for Blue. Archangel's going to be trying to run away. The Witch Doctor does not get away. He gets hunted down. Illidan with the ult. And rip. Gotta say, not looking good for Red whatsoever. Level 11 to 9. They lost out all the creeps, and now the front gate here to their back fort, not looking so good. This back keep. So, yep, a little bit rough. You can see Red trying to strategize a bit, but during all this, mines are back up. And again, you know, 3, 6, 7, 8 camps and a golem. 8 camps and a golem. That's what you're going to be looking for. Each camp is 5, so 8 by 5 is 40. That leaves the golem to be 60. So 1, 2, 3. No, that's not right. 1, 2. Alright, so these are variable numbers. Either way, if you get all the little camps or the big camp, go for the little ones. If you can get all the little ones or the big, you're going to get more out of the little. So it's about a 60-40 split or so. Maybe 65-35. Not entirely too sure on the math. Red, however, they're hungry. They're looking for blood. They're not feeling so good. They got their level 10, and that's going to be a mosh pit into the bottom lane. That siege golem just, you know, did not drop, but the 2 blue that were doing it did. That's going to be the cloned siege tank out there as well. And now we're talking some damage. After level 10, you start getting some of these combos, and now we can talk combos. Brightwing goes in with the Abathur, but that's going to be ETC again. Loudspeaker gets in front of him, and good body block does drop the Brightwing entirely. And that means Red's going to be picking up the big guy here. Unfortunately, I don't think they actually got any of the other camps really here. So it's going to be just Blue here. They're going to finish up the skulls. They still, I think, again, get majority. You only get 35 to 40 from that big guy. So you're probably looking at about a 60-40 split. Blue Siege is going to be running away here. It's a lot of pressure into this top. And it's actually going to come out top where we see Illidan fighting off against the Witch Doctor. Brightwing there as well. Not quite a kill there on top of the Witch or the Illidan. You can see the siege tanks throwing down their pot shots with the napalm, but overall no kills either way. Golems are going to pop. You can see Stitches again doing guard duty down south all by his little lonesome self. But yeah, it does look like Blue is going to have the bigger golem this time. So again, siege, red team under siege. This fort not looking so good. You see double siege there from the blue side as well. The Abathur clone really has a thing for siege tanks, but ETC into the back there with the help of that Abathur is going to take down the kill on top of the blue siege. Now it's siege on clone siege action. God, really, you know, once we get a draft process, guys, in real rank mode, it's going to be so much easier to not call that. The little red golem, he's going to be down. Didn't really get much done whatsoever. Top fort does drop here from Red though. And in terms of levels, 14-13. So, you know, Red has actually closed up the gap. Blue goes for the mid night camp. Really nice move on their part. They took down the golem. They have the timing to get the mid here. Do they have the DPS to finish it off? Well, yeah, it looks like they're going to get it, but they're going to get knocked off the mid. And ETC with the mosh pit. That's going to be 3 team members of Blue on top of that, and 2 are already dead in the dirt. Cosmic War TV on the Stitches here is going to be the 3rd, and that is going to be a steal. That Knight's going back to Red. They're not going to be able to pick up the kill here on top of the blue siege, as Abathur is going to make sure of that, but whew, that ETC making the plays happen there in the mid with that mosh pit. He jumped in with the loudspeaker, knocked him off of the mid, mosh pitted them, and then the rest of the team was able to clean up. That should be a fort. I mean, there's nobody that can test them here. 3 dead there from blue, which you can see there. Only the Abathur, as well as that enemy siege tank, who's just basically relegated to taking pot shots at this point. Red siege into the bottom lane, just defending up against this bottom push. Doesn't really seem to be needed into the top, but that's going to be blue now up. Ravenous Spirit comes out. Hunt goes through, though. Illidan takes down the cloned Witch Doctor. Does stop out, however, the double Ravenous Spirit. Now both of them have actually been used out. That's going to be the blink heal, but not enough to keep the Brightwing up. And now can we get the return kill on top of it? Illidan does not look like it is going to be the case. These Brightwings are actually really good on both sides of the things, but there's no more wall here, and that's going to be a death on top of the Abathur. So red team doesn't go home empty-handed. It is going to be a 1-for-1 trade-off. There's no Merc camps on their side or mid, but red does have their giants up. So red's going to collapse on top of that. I think the mines are due for another showing here soon. And it does actually look like Brightwing. Blue Brightwing and blue Sergeant Hammer is actually already heading down into the mines. They're setting up, and there we go. The skeletons are back up. Now, what used to happen is that the skeletons would actually, like, cluster and try to, you know, make life a little bit easier. But they don't do that anymore because life is already easier because of the new redesigned bottom mines. It's not nearly as big. So it's still, again, going to be more or less that 60-40, the 65-35 split. And you can see both teams are just rushing down there. You see Red Siege Tank just kind of pushing out that bottom lane again. And, you know, the Abathurs are doing Abathur things, but back down under the mines, it looks like Brightwing coming under fire here from Team Red actually does take home the kill on top of the Fairy Dragon. That's going to be a mosh pit there on top of the Stitches, but only the Stitches. Didn't get any of the DPS on top of that. The Ravenous Spirit comes out, and again, kills and trades going to go back and forth. The poison going to be enough there on top of Stitches. It is, and now it's going to be ETC having to deal with Abathur and Sergeant Hammer, and it does not look good for Red. That was a 3-for-3 exchange. But now it's going to be Siege Tank, all Siege Tank. But where's the Abathur at this point? Red needs an Abathur. Does get it out with that shield at the end of it all. And that's going to be a 4-3 exchange in favor of Red. But, you know, that fight came really late. There's no more camps up. Only the Golem. And that's not going to be a hit points that the Red Siege Tank can actually deal with. So it's going to have to head on home at this point. In terms of levels, 17 apiece. Take a quick look at the talents there for you guys. As we're just going to be waiting for the teams to kind of respawn and come back into it. Chat is kind of getting in the way a little bit there, but Nazeebo there has Death Ritual and Venom and Gidvin on top of that. Oh, obviously the Ravenous Spirit. So yeah, level 16 is just looking for that last tier at the end of it all. Everyone's now basically back in action, just waiting for the blue siege tank, but blue waits for no one. You can already see red heading down into the golem. They're going to be looking for the rest of those skulls. If they can get this, they might be able to get a 50-50, because they did get a camp, and if they can get this big golem, that should be more or less flush. You can see red coming down, and everyone's going to go down to the party here. Stitches with the hook from blue side. Doesn't quite land anything, and red just basically ignores him from then on in. Does get the rest of the skulls, and it looks like that's going to be enough to trigger the golems. And yes, blue siege tank here going to be taking out their siege giants. Again, Stitches with the defense mode into this bottom lane, going to be trying to defend against the red golem. Now the blue one at this point only has a tower really to cleave through. Then he has to walk all the way here. So it's not exactly the biggest of pushes for them. Did blue actually still get the bigger golem out of it? He's going to take some pot shots there at Illidan, but he should be okay. Yeah, there's not really much an ETC can do to lock him down. Does look like blue did get the bigger of them. So blue, again, red, going to be a little bit less powerful, but yeah, they do got 3, 4, well 4 if you count the Abathur there for defense. They should be able to make quick work of it. You do see the locust nests just actually coming out. Everything that we can throw at it, red team is going to do it. Looks like Illidan actually got caught into the mid. Yes. Sergeant Hammer able to just chase him off from those knights. So the knights are going to be the prize. Whoever can take down their golem first, and it looks like it's going to be blue. It's going to be heading off there into the mines. Blue, however, again, must not have a bigger golem like they did last time, because it's going to be dead now in the water as well. And, ooh, Blue is actually going to go for it. They're in the mid here. They're looking for these knights, but they also have to deal with now the red excursion. That's going to be the siege tank clone going to be going down. Ravenous Spirit coming out. That's going to be chasing off the Illidan, and now double Ravenous Spirit. No, that's the line. That's going to be actually double siege tank again with the mosh pit right here on top of that mid, and every team member of Blue lands right into it. That is going to be another steal here for Red as they get themselves those knights. Now, let's talk strategy. There's nobody left alive. Looks like Abathur decided to get out of dodge, goes back home. What do you do with knights, double siege tank, and nobody alive on the enemy team? Well, you push. Red siege tank had to go home. Looks like it's going to just deal with these siege giants. Not going to be getting a keep today, ladies and gentlemen. But on the other side, Red is actually poised to take this one. That might actually put them to level 20 to get that storm talents going. But level 19, 18 for a team that was down 2 levels early. They've come back very strong into this one. And again, like, Sergeant Hammers are not exactly your best early game bet, but they really do start shining past level 7, where you can start getting some of those combos. Red Siege Tank going to be taking down this creep camp for another set of giants, but you know, damage was done. Only the one keep down here left. Sorry, the one keep there. The one fort here, not exactly a healthy fort either. So, you know, Red Golem has still a lot of work ahead of him, but you know, it's starting to really add up. If the Abathurs had mules, you know, they could have really kept alive a lot more of their infrastructure, but you know, I don't actually think that happened this time. Nice dodge there from the siege tank up against that Stitches hook, but that's going to be the Hunt. Hunt goes right in. Brightwing trying to keep up the siege tank, but oh, that is going to be it for him. Gets eaten there by the Stitches, but Concussive Blast is going to be enough to keep him up. The Brightwing with the Blink Heal as well. Abathur going right there on top of that siege, and wow, not going to be a kill. Blue team, however, now not looking so healthy. They put all their eggs into the one basket trying to get the kill on top of the siege. They lost the Abathur clone. They lost out their own Brightwing, and now they're going to be on the defensive in a 1-for-0 exchange. So, like, how much hit points is that? Not much. Give you that. Oh, the mines are now going to be coming up on the back of that, and this is not a position Blue really wants to be in. They're down team members. The mines are up. They have no map positioning. They got giants pushing onto their fort from the top, and you know, if Red scores a really big golem here, you know, he'll not only tear right through this fort, but tear right through the next and right onto the core. Might not be a game-ending push. There's a lot of stuff there for the siege golem to actually take down, but oh, is it ever going to be a good push? Sergeant Hammer with the napalm strike is level 20, so the storm talents are now into effect. Red team does have the level advantage, and it does have that extra talent tier. They're going to be using it to good use, as the Illidan actually does drop. The blue Illidan, not where you wanted to be, bro. Not where you wanted to be. You can see the siege tank here from blue. They're going to take their own giants, trying to get a little bit of map pressure back into their own favor. But this is going to be the first big golem for red. They're going to have a good push into this bottom lane if they can actually defend this golem. And I think that's going to be the plan, because you know, we got a full gate here, and it has to be like no more than an 80-20 split. Or no less than an 80-20 split, I should say. Could very possibly be more. But an 80-20 split or so, you know, this golem, you know, as I said, had to tear through that fort. It's not there. Has to now tear through this keep and go right here into the core. They can do it. Like, it's very possible to do it. But will it? That's going to be the big question. That's going to be what, you know, that's going to be the mission here from Red. Can Red do it? How big is this little guy? How big is he? No, he's not big at all. No. He's, I'd be very surprised if he actually got out of that gate. On the flip side, though, you do see the Abathur clone again on these siege tanks, so it's been a very popular target. Double siege tank from both sides pretty repeatedly. Big golem coming in, though, and it's going to be taking chunks out of that tower. It is dropping very, very quick. You got a Red's own siege tank in the back of that as well, and that's going to be the Abathur clone dead in the water. The napalm strikes are going to come out, and that's going to start landing some damage there on top of that keep. And of course, you do also have, you know, the golem by himself can just land a lot of damage on that keep right there. Hook goes in on top of that ETC. ETC going to drop real low, but it's going to be the Stitches actually landing the eat on top of the Brightwing. You can see Ilda into the back here trying for the kill on top of Witch Doctor. Doesn't quite get it. And that's going to be it for Brightwing. So 1-for-1 exchange. That's not looking good for the ETC. Actually does drop to the Devour of Stitches, but the keep is done. And that Golem is still going in. That's a kill on top of the Brightwing. Oh, poor little Fairy Dragon got hit by the roots. And half hit points left on this Golem. I think that'll break the shield, but it's not exactly going to be the end all. Stitches is actually trying to chase down the Sergeant Hammer, but Sergeant Hammer does have the Abathur on her, and I don't think Stitches is, I don't think this is something he can win, and it's not gonna be either. Sergeant Hammer coming out strong there with the help of her teammate. And yeah. That's going to be a ping into the mid. Yeah, why not? There's nobody to contest this. The Golem did break out through that shield. Does bring the palace down to... Wow, pretty close to half. Pretty damn close to half. But, you know, Red's not quite done yet. They're going to pick up this mid. That's going to be the Knights now pushing in their favor. Can easily go to their own Giants as well. Got a little bit of time before the mines come back up. Here's the siege towns here for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, both the hammers have advanced Lava Strike. Of course, there's nothing really else to take with an Abathur except Ultimate Evolution, or the Evolution Master. Death Metal with the vulnerability, a late game ETC mosh pit can really just wreck havoc. And the Annihilating Spirits, yeah, the Ysera's Blessing, yeah. So nothing really out of the ordinary. I mean, Stitches didn't take Improved Gorge, which is probably to the better effect. He did take the Resurgence, so needs to make sure that he can keep hooking as best as he can. The map pressure generated from those top Knights is about to get cleaned up there from Blue, but it is keeping them more or less in their base, and it does look like Blue is actually going to lose out on their own Siege Giants as well. So that's going to be a squad of four Siege Giants into the top. Got double Siege Tank into the bottom with the Witch Doctor. That's 3 specialists, 1 lane. Actually, well, more than that, because we see the other Sergeant Hammer there with the clone. It's amazing how you can have like 7 specialists. So, fun games. Firstly, not really a good hook there from the Stitches. Doesn't quite land anything useful there, but that's going to be it for the clone. Abathur's now basically back to symbioting. You can see not really too much going down in terms of hit points. Like, there's really nothing here to break open the bank quite yet, but ETC into the back lands that mosh pit on top of the tank. Is going to be a double kill there with the help of that Ravenous Spirit. Stitches did pick up the Witch Doctor, but now it's going to be a 4-on-1 exchange, and that's not going to be in his favor whatsoever, and not looking good for Blue. They got to deal with all these boulder throwing giants. The core is going down. Abathur just kind of dancing there in front of the mid, in front of his core, because he thinks that it's done, and it basically is done at this point. The creep pressure was too much. The core is going to drop, and the team fights, while shaky in the front of things in the very beginning of the game, came out really nice here for Team Red, and they take home a victory. Easy as that. That's all you got to do, ladies and gentlemen. You just got to take home the victory. And between you and me, this is actually the last match I needed for level 10 Sergeant Hammer. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that game. Yeah, it's not exactly you know, pro scrim, so to speak, but with the new patch coming in, it's yeah, kind of destroyed all the previous replays, so I do apologize. You got replays, I want replays. You guys, if you're part of a team, you're looking to do high level, you just got a fun solo queue game, send it my way here. Leave a comment there on the YouTube, or find me out there on the other social medias, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Also, let me know what you think about the overlays. Been putting a lot of work into them. And once we do finally get to picks and bans and live, definitely looking forward to putting this stuff into practice. So, if you would be so kind, leave me some comments, leave me some feedback, hit the follow, and subscribe if you liked what you heard. And of course, guys, I'll see you in the next one.